Hello and welcome to VidCon Now Asia. My name is Jasper Donat and I'm coming live from Singapore. So live, in fact, that I have building works going on in 3 apartments around me. So if you hear drilling and banging in the background, I do apologize. That's live streaming for you. As you probably know, the Asian edition of VidCon Now is a bi-weekly look at all things around online media and entertainment, including the platforms, the communities, and the creators themselves. Our last session was with the wonderful Wenji, and this week we're in for another treat with another huge name in creator land, Nuseir Yassin, also known as the 40 million plus subscriber Nas Daily, who is joined today by his business colleague Alex Dwek to talk about their recently launched Nas Academy. But we're going to start with Nuseir. Nuseir, how are you, mate? Very good to see you. Please, for the 3.5 people in the world who haven't heard of you, please would you introduce yourself? Who is Nuseir? A little bit about Nas Daily, maybe, and what do you tell your mates you do for a living?
First of all, Jasper, great to chat again, man. I miss the times where we could have physical conferences. But anyway, this will do. Actually, 97% of the world has not heard of us. So for the 97%, nice to meet you. My name is Nuseir, like yes sire, no sire. What do I tell my friends that I do for a living? Really, we just say we make videos and we put them on the internet and people watch. That's it. That's all we do. But then on the side, of course, the real company is we're building an organization that helps creators become educators, and that is taking a lot of our time. But you know, we're in the media space. We're in the media and the technology space, and we couldn't be more excited to be in these 2 industries.
So we're going to come back to the company you started up in a second, but again, and there starts the drilling. Just tell us a little bit. Where
Nice.
did it all start? Where did it all start for you?
First of all, Jasper, is this drilling in your apartment or your neighbor's apartment?
Neighbors, 3 neighbors who've all promised that they'd shut up, and that it just started again. It's live. That's what it's like.
Yeah. So the way they started, look, I mean, I think content creators, like creating content on the internet and living on the internet, is a thing that is only really 10 years old. 10 years old. It's crazy. It's so fresh. But 5 years ago, for me, I was a software engineer, and I realized that this internet thing and this Facebook thing and this video thing is just gonna blow up. And so I decided to start making videos and put them on Facebook and see what happens. And 1,000 days later, it did blow up. And so I think there's Nas Daily now, but I think if you ask yourself, how will the future look like in the next 10 years? There will be 1,000 more Nas Dailies, probably at a higher scale and a much bigger magnitude. And I'm pretty nervous and pretty excited as well for that future.
That's pretty cool. And where are you in the world right now today? That's the final question to you before we bring your business partner on. Where are you? Where are we talking to you today?
You are talking to me from the city of Dubai in the country of the Emirates. I actually, we have an office in Singapore and we have an office now in Dubai, but I've been locked out of Singapore for a while now, and I've spent 28 days in quarantine, and I really have 0 days left in my inventory to spend in quarantine. So I'm waiting it out until the situation improves here in sunny and hot Dubai.
Well, I know that the last time we saw you live IRL in real life was at VidCon in Singapore in 2019. So hopefully we'll get to see you again live in real life again soon. But let's meet your business partner, Alex Dwek. Come in, Alex. There we go. By the wonders of the internet, he's here and live. Alex, tell us a little bit about you. Where are you today? Who are you? And same question. What do you tell your mates you do for a living?
Thanks, Jasper. Great to see you again. So my name's Alex. I'm calling you from Singapore, just down the road from your busy construction work. I'm originally from the UK. I moved out here about 5.5 years ago. And I've spent the last few years working in the tech industry, first with Uber. Probably many of your viewers know about Uber, the ride-sharing company. I then went over to Grab, which is Southeast Asian super app. And I spent time all around Southeast Asia building up the food delivery business. After that, I joined about 9 months ago now. I joined Nuseir at Nas Academy, where I lead all of our partnerships. So I work with creators, I work with companies all around the world to help them access education from creators. So what do I tell my mates that I do? Well, my job is really to help build that infrastructure to have the academies and the universities of tomorrow. And we believe those people are creators on the internet. And that's what gets Nuseir and I just really excited to talk about it today.
So cool. So Alex, what's just staying with you for 1 second, but tell us, give us the background to the Nas Academy. What is the Nas Academy?
So Nas Academy is a platform online which enables creators to become educators. So when people who are listening think of a creator today, they think a lot about people who make videos on the internet. But what they don't think about is that these people have built up so much knowledge and experience and skills over the time that they've created their craft. And so what we believe is that that knowledge should be taught to others, whether that be the individual sitting in Singapore or Dubai or Jakarta or Ho Chi Minh, or whether it be a company who is looking to access this knowledge to grow their business. And so that's a little bit about what Nas Academy does. And we know that creators who have that knowledge may need some help to be able to turn that into education. And we've built the products and the tools and the support to help them do that.
Yeah, actually, by the way, Alex, Jasper, Alex, we're talking to a creator, right? Jasper, you are a creator of a company. You are a creator of social experiences, conferences, virtual conferences, real life conferences. You know, your knowledge, by the way, Jasper, is highly privileged and highly limited to the people around you. And you don't teach. You need to be a teacher, for God's sake. We think everybody should be 10% of their life a teacher. And that's how you can enable the next person to build the next company and be your competitor.
And so by the end of this, I will have signed a contract with you, clearly. But tell me, Nuseir, was there a gap in the market? Why did you launch the Academy?
Yeah. So look, I mean, the last thing I tell this to everybody, the last thing you should want is to build a tech company and hire engineers and pay engineering salaries and product managers and design. It is hell. The reason we felt compelled to build it is because we see the gap in the market. When I wanted to teach, I wanted to become a teacher. I looked at my options. I wanted to teach how to make videos. And, you know, the options were just like video files, selling video files. It's like, I don't want to sell a video file, especially if I'm giving them away for free on Facebook and YouTube. And so there was no like other platform to help me become an educational institute. And so we were like, well, screw it. We got to build it ourselves. And so that embarked on sort of the biggest undertaking of the company is to build the technology and the infrastructure to turn someone from nothing into an educational institute with, you know, classmates, with feedback, with payments, with creators, with marketing. I mean, it's a lot of work, but the way we teach is very like cohort-based setting, right? And Alex can speak more to like the way we are different from, let's say, a YouTube video file.
So we'll get onto that in a second, but before we go into more detail, we've got a video that can show people a little bit more about what goes on at the Nas Academy. Can we run the video, please?
Hey, my name is Dan Mace. I make YouTube videos, documentaries, and I also have a few award-winning short films. I've spent over 10 years as a filmmaker, gaining industry experience, making epic mistakes, winning some awards, and working with amazing creatives to finally come up with my secret sauce of filmmaking. And that's why I decided to start a course called How to Become a Great Filmmaker, to teach people all the things I wish I knew back in the day. In this course, I'll teach you how to tell a story right from the moment you receive a brief to making it come alive in front of camera. I'll share my own personal experience of working on highly successful TV commercials and the skills that helped me make them a reality. I'll also show you how I made this video with absolutely no footage of the actual event. If there's one thing I envision students to take away from all my teachings in this course, it will be to discover your true potential as a creative. So come and join me on this course at Nas Academy, and together, let's become great filmmakers.
That's absolutely fantastic. So today we're doing how to be a good VidCon Now session. So look, that was quite clear what you're doing there. I mean, let's look into how's it all going. I mean, you launched it, I think, at the end of 2020. How many countries are you in? What are some of the numbers that you've recorded?
Yeah, let me
Alex,
go ahead.
Give him the numbers?
Alex.
No problem. No
Numbers,
problem.
Alex.
I'll be very careful, I promise you. So far, we've had students from 140 countries take a Nas Academy class. We've had 10,000 students who paid for a class, and we've had many, many more all around the world who've taken one of our community classes just to learn about video making. I think it was pretty amazing, actually. Nuseir went to go and shoot in Zanzibar, in Tanzania, and there was someone on the street who came up to him and said, I have taken a Nas Academy community class and it has changed my whole outlook on how I can make content and make videos. And now he's a creator. And that for us as a team was just so amazing that no matter where you are in the world, content matters, and that getting access to this sort of information previously would only be if it was available offline, in your country, in your city, in your community. And now with the power of the internet, you can access these skills from everywhere. And so, yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We are truly global, and we're looking for creators and companies to partner with all around the world.
And how many? I mean, it's amazing. You got 140 countries. I think you said 10,000 paying students. How many creators are in the academy?
So right now we're very focused.
Yeah, Alex.
I'll go ahead. Yeah. Right now we're very focused on, we have about 20 creators from different fields. You saw Dan around filmmaking. We have things around storytelling. We have platforms. We have one of the top TikTokers in the world teaching you how to grow on TikTok. So we pick specific creators in different areas to help share their knowledge and teach people what they've learned.
So Nas, you're a creator, but you're also the CEO of the Academy. But if you were just a creator and the Academy had approached you, what's in it for the creators? Why would a creator want to be part of the Academy?
That's funny. You're making me look like a customer. I am the customer. The Academy did approach me. Look, what's in it for me and what's in it for you, Jasper? Because we're going to sign you at some point in the next year. What's in it for me is, look, I think, as I said, everybody should be a teacher, because when you teach, there's two things that happen. One, you can change lives, right? As they say, knowledge is the only thing that increases when you give it away. And so the idea is that, look, I'm very interested in having the next Nas Daily come from my village. I'm very interested in that. I'm very interested for the next Nas Daily to be a random ass kid from India, whose life changes because of what I learned. So that is, I think, something that's really powerful, and it's also priceless. The second reason you should teach is you can make money. Jasper, what do you want me to come and tell you? You want me to come and sell you t-shirts? Small, medium, large, X large, what do you want? Or do you want me to sell you knowledge, things that can actually improve your life and improve my life? And so I think there's trillions of dollars that are spent right now on education that honestly is pretty damn boring. Like all this traditional higher ed education, even K to 12, is not efficient. And so we think creators could get 1% of that $1 trillion that's being wasted to their pockets. And I think they would do an amazing job teaching and sharing their knowledge. So this is why I would say yes to the Academy, And I would say yes to masterclass if they came and asked me to teach, but they never came. So that's why we had to build it.
Crazy people. So talk about the creators. What's in it? Let's say I sign up for one of the courses. What's in it for the learners?
Yeah, look, I mean, Nas means humans in Arabic. I'm sure not many people knew that, but it means people, humans in Arabic. So if you engage in a Nas Academy class, you are guaranteed to meet a human, as opposed to watch a video file whenever you want that you'll never finish, like on YouTube or Skillshare or whatever. On Nas Academy, there's like actual classes and cohorts, and there is like WhatsApp groups, there is live sessions on Zoom, there's graduation, and there's Meet the Creator. So when you meet a human, you're much more likely to be incentivized to finish the course. And so that's why you see completion rates, on YouTube is probably like 5% or Skillshare 5%. But on Nas Academy, it's like 5x that or 10x that. So for 50%, 60%, we're seeing completion rates of long courses. Now think about that, Jasper. The reason you finish education is because you like the people around. And I think that's the environment we're building at Nas Academy for all creators.
That's very cool, and I think we're gonna drill down a little bit into the learning process and what actually happens. But before then, I've just been reminded that I completely forgot at the top of the session to ask anyone watching. This is a great chance if you want to ask questions to Nuseir or to Alex. Please get your questions in the little box on the right. I think it's on the right hand side, and they'll be, by the wonders of the internet, they'll be fed to me here, and we'll be able to ask the questions. So please do get your questions in.
Yeah, and Jasper, ask them to ask sensitive questions.
And ask some sensitive questions.
Yeah.
Alex, so we've talked about the creators and the learners, but you mentioned earlier that you target business as well, the B2B community. So what's in it for the business community?
So Jasper, one thing I found very interesting when I worked at a company like Grab, Grab works with merchants and restaurants all over Southeast Asia. And when I was looking at the platform, what I saw was that every single restaurant uses the skills of content to grow their business. The restaurants that were doing well when I was in Grab weren't necessarily the ones with the best food. They were the ones who had mastered the content about their brand. And they had found ways in order to disseminate, to spread that information, to reach more customers. And so when we built these courses with creators, we thought about the fact that there are companies, there are small business owners, there are marketers who want to learn these skills. So how do we make it accessible to them? And how do we make sure that those learnings are also transferable in a company setting? And so that's when we started this business arm. And what's been amazing is that companies from all different industries have come to us and said, we see a role for content in our company. The problem has always been, how do I do it? Do I commission a really expensive, flashy video, and then do I spend a ton of money trying to market it on Facebook? Or do I start thinking about how do I train my employees to create organic content? What we see through Nas Daily and through other creators that we work with is it's not the videos that are the most highly produced that do the best on the internet. And Nuseir can speak to this more, as a creator, but it's the most authentic, it's the most relatable. It's those that take even complicated subjects and tell them in simple and engaging ways. And so we think it's relevant to every business. We work with companies in healthcare, in finance, all different walks, in often subject matters which would traditionally be seen as boring or impossible to reach large numbers of people. And we've helped them actually create organic content.
Actually, it's not even just companies. It's also governments that need these skills. And that's what also gets me really, really excited is that, you're looking at governments are now saying, oh my God, I'm spending $1 billion on this broadcast TV channel that gets me no views and no cultural relevance. I need to upskill my citizens to decentralize my media as a government. And that's like my dream come true is to like help governments become better at like communication. And I think content will help you achieve that. And so it's not just brands, it's not just Grab, it's not just airlines, it's also governments that need these 21st century skills.
We've had a first question. So the reason I keep having to turn my microphone off because there's drilling next door. We've had a couple of questions from Internet Land. Emma in California is asking, are all the courses in English or do you go into different languages? And the second part of that question is, what is the most popular course so far?
Yeah, so I can speak to that. One thing that we're very proud of is that everything on Nas Academy is localized to 13 different languages. See, when I hit 10 million followers, I looked around and I said, wow, 10 million people watch the videos, but my dad was not one of them because he doesn't speak English. And so really, if you speak English in today's world, you're speaking to the minority. 80% of the world does not understand you. And so we've built, as part of the Nas Academy, we've built localization software that takes a video and with using subtitles, it generates 13 different videos. And depending on where you're watching the course from, it shows up in your local language. This is an essential feature for any company that wants to be based in Southeast Asia, because there are so many different languages in this part of the world. The second is, what's the most popular course thus far? It's probably something to do with content creation. The Creator Master course has been, quite a hit, where it's like a 1-month course teaching people how to become a creator from 0 to 1, how to script, how to edit, how to shoot, how to publish, how to just understand this new world of content creation.
I mean, that's absolutely fascinating. I love what you're saying about the languages, by the way, because yeah, you're right. I mean, we're sitting here in Singapore in the middle of 35 different countries with, up team.
How many languages?
I mean, and then languages within languages within languages. And so that's fascinating. And personally, I'd love to be able to explore ways of working with that, because I'm always aware that we're doing these shows in English. And just because I speak English doesn't mean someone else does. And you're absolutely right. We work with a lot of musicians.
You speak British English.
Very British English.
Even
in fact,
harder.
I speak the same language as Alex, because we're both from the same part of London. But no, we talk to English language speaking musicians all the time who want to go to China, and we say, why? Do you speak Chinese? And they say no. I say, okay, when was the last time you listened to a Chinese record? And they say, well, first they say, what's a record? But you know what I mean? And then they realize you've got to be speaking. So that's absolutely fascinating. And a great question from Emma.
Alex, actually, Jasper, on that note, just last thing on that note, we have 500,000 followers as a company in China, and they watch the videos even though they're English, but because of subtitles. So reaching 500,000 people in China is like unheard of. But just adding subtitles is so powerful to get your message across to as many people as possible. So I will shut up now.
That's fantastic. No, please. No, I love it when you talk. It makes me look even smart. It makes me look smart. Alex, let's talk about the student journey. So if I've registered for a course, is there a set agenda? Is it a set time? Is the courses all the same, or do they tend to be different? What's my journey?
Yeah, let me walk you through Jaspers' journey on Nas Academy. So, I think that when people think of a course, they think, okay, I sign up to something, I put my credit card details in, and then I'm on my own. I just watch a video, and most likely I'll probably give up halfway through. At least that's my experience, because I have so many other things going on in my life. What a Nas Academy experience is different is the first thing, when you sign up, you enter a community. So you go in and you see, in this class, I am learning alongside 50 other people from 15, 20 other countries. And I can say hi to them because I go into a WhatsApp group where I get to not only introduce myself to these people, but I also get to meet a facilitator, a trainer who is from Nas Academy, who is high energy, who's a creator themselves, and helps you get to know the group. Then when I start learning, I learn directly from the creator themselves, from the person who actually has a knowledge through video. if I don't speak English, or English, I'm not confident in English, I can watch it in my local language. But through that process, as I watch that video, I have live sessions. So I get to go on Zoom with the other students and I get to ask questions. I also get assignments, so I can actually reinforce that learning. Like, okay, I learned how to write a script. Here's a piece of homework to write a script, and I get feedback on it in real time from the trainers, and I get to see what the other students did in my cohort to learn as well. So at the end of that session, which that 4-hour video, 3-hour video, turns into like a 3-day learning experience, which at the end, when I get through it, I graduate together online, like live, with my other students, and I even get a form of a certificate that I can use as well. And so through that process, I've made a lifelong friends through that community. I've learned something tangible. I've had to do something, which we know with creation and content, it's easy to sit there and just hear about, you should do this, you should do that. But the only true way you actually learn is by trying it yourself. So these are the things that in every course, no matter what the subject is, we try and build that experience. And I think what we find fascinating is that when people actually finish this experience, they actually put on places like LinkedIn, hey, I learned a course about creating content. I learned a course about storytelling. And they see it, students in Nas Academy see that as a way to actually get more business, to seek employment, and also to grow. So that for us actually was not initially our intention, but it's fascinating to see how employers today are looking less at what institution did you come from? Did you come from Harvard? Did you come from this university? But actually, what are the skills that you learned? And have you put them into practice? And that's what we're really excited about here.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I'm surprised that I haven't received more video resumes through the last 5 or 10 years, because it shows so much better than writing it and all that kind of stuff. Nuseir, back to you on this. You're talking about working with creators and turning them into educators. How do you train the trainer? They can't just automatically be good teachers, right?
Yeah. So it's so funny you say that, because a lot of people think being a teacher is hard. I would say being engaging is much harder. Getting someone to pay attention to you is mission impossible. So a teacher has to do 2 things. 1, understand the knowledge. 2, be engaging. Creators are probably engaging, but they don't understand the knowledge. Professors at a university understand the knowledge, but are not engaging. And so it's much easier to teach someone the knowledge as opposed to teaching them how to be engaging. And so, we're not teaching rocket science at Nas Academy. Actually, we may never teach rocket science at Nas Academy. And so if you're learning 21st century skills that are like easy and portable, like being engaging is a lot more important than having that, pedagogy. They're called pedagogy. Generally, Jasper, if you want to change an industry, you must have some disrespect to the industry. And we have, at least personally, I have a massive disrespect to the way education is being run right now. And I say this as someone who's done the worst possible education at a village in Israel, and the best possible education at Harvard University. And just seeing how similar they are is just crazy. So I think we need edutainment, a new paradigm in education, and it starts with creators.
And so many more people are used to learning from home over the last 2 years as well. So your timing clearly is perfect. So we talked about learning, we've talked about the creators, we talked about the trainers. Nas and Nas first and Alex, what have you guys learned through this process of launching your own academy? Nas.
I'll let Alex go first. Actually, I'm interested in Alex's answer more. What have you learned in the last 9 months? What I've learned is probably something like super negative. I've learned that it's impossible to build a company. What have you learned?
I knew you were going to throw that back at me to give yourself some time to think about it. But I think that what I've learned is that you can actually surprisingly turn people who've never thought about becoming educators to become educators. I think one of the ways that Nas Academy has worked really well so far is talking to a creator who's been like, I know I have something that I've learned, but I can't be an educator. I'm not a qualified teacher. You know, I've not talked in front of large groups before, so I can't do that. And you know, what we've said to them is that, you know, you can. There are some simple steps you need to follow to take that knowledge in your brain and make it into a course, but also on how you teach. And so at the moment, we've been quite sort of, you know, coaching the creators to do this at the beginning. And I've been amazed that it actually works. And that I believe that we can take pretty much any creator and help them become an educator, build their own academy. You know, will we do it with every creator? No, maybe for them, that's not their priority. Just as Nuseir said before, like he doesn't want to sell t-shirts. Maybe some creators they're not ready to teach yet. But we think, and this is our big bet, that as more people want to learn these skills, it's going to become more and more common to take creators of all different walks of life, whether they be Facebookers like Nuseir or Jasper yourself or anyone else. And actually, instead of saying, okay, I graduate from high school, I only have university and that's it, there's going to be multiple options for people. And I think that for me has been a big realization that you can actually build a whole career from taking a few classes, and not just from Nas Academy, by the way. And those people who can teach you can be from all walks of life, all over the world.
Nice.
Well,
Nas, you've had a couple of minutes to think now.
I want to answer this in terms of like what I've learned building Nas Academy. You know, I think that like, I'm sure a lot of people like listening to this, you know, are probably not just creators, but they're also entrepreneurs. And, you know, I think, you know, even though, you know, Alex and I and the rest of the team know that this is most definitely the future, 100% the future, which is like, you know, less institutions, more online education. I've learned that every successful company is a 5-year process, a 5-year like torture, you know. And it's like, ask yourself, like before you want to build a company or start a content creation channel, whatever, like, do I want to be tortured for the next 3 to 4 to 5 years? If you want to be tortured for the next 5 years, go for it and build that company and achieve that vision. If you don't want to, then continue at your current job. So that's what I've learned. And so I'm learning how to enjoy the torture. And it's pretty exciting.
You are I'm writing notes, by the way, I'm not looking down. You're a walking quote machine. We've had another question. Now, I don't know who this question is actually from, but don't creators need some formal qualifications in pedagogy, or who is quality controlling what they teach and the material? Yeah. So who's watching over who's the headmaster?
I can answer that. Let me answer that. And then I think Alex can give his take, but I'm a lot more annoyed when I first heard that question. I mean, this is kind of like asking, if I'm going to get into someone's car, shouldn't they have a taxi medallion? No, they don't need to have a taxi medallion, right? They don't need to be a formal taxi. They can be any human with a car. And I trust society and I trust Uber and Grab to make sure there is enough quality control. So what I'm trying to say is this, you know, the current certification for teachers that we have is absolutely inefficient. And I think the best certification you can get is the community, the reviews, right? Same like with Amazon. Are you gonna ask, is every product on Amazon like FDA approved? Like probably not. You just look at the reviews. Less than 4 stars, not for me. Above 4 stars, for me. Similarly, what's a great teacher? A great teacher is the one that has high student satisfaction. It is not the one that has certificate from the government. And so that's the kind of model we're going after. And that's how we think education can be decentralized. But what do you guys think?
Alex?
Yeah, so I think, you know, to add to what Nuseir says, we do care about quality. In fact, actually, Nuseir, as our CEO, is very strict on quality. So if a class gets below 9 out of 10 on a feedback, every single class that's actually taken, Nuseir sees and the whole team sees the feedback. And if it's below 9 out of 10 across the board, we investigate why. We rewatch the recordings. We look at what happened. And if actually it consistently happens, we remove that class or that teacher from our platform. So I think that to answer the question, do you need some sort of qualification to be a good teacher? No. But I think quality control is still important. to remove, if they are below 4 stars, then you don't just leave it on the platform. And that's how we kind of police it. We give people the benefit of the doubt, but we will kind of ensure that, you know, a certain quality always remains.
Fantastic. So
but if you think about it, in this case, Jasper, if you think about it, sorry, in this case, who dictates who gets to teach? It's not us, actually. It's the community, the students. If they don't like someone enough, they're gone. We're just doing quality control, but we're not dictating you can be a teacher, you cannot be a teacher necessarily. And I think that's the idea of decentralization.
And the fan and you working with demand. And you delivering on demand. That's very interesting. It's getting away from the 3 R's and into what do the consumers actually want as well. That's fascinating. Where were you when I was 16? I think we're kind of moving towards the. I'm sorry?
Never mind. I think I know where you went to high school. We know where you went to high school.
Yeah, I just didn't last for very long. That was my problem because I didn't have a Nas Academy. Okay, so I'm going to move into the final question here because we're almost out of time. But what's next for the Nas Academy? I'm going to ask you first, Alex, and then Nuseir. Sorry.
So what's next for us? I think right now we're really happy with the model. We're happy with how creators teach. We're happy with the students' responses and feedback. So now the demand from our students is we want more courses. We want more creators. So I think for the next sort of 3 to 6 months for us, we are on a massive outreach program to invite creators to become educators. So we're not constraining it to one city or one country. We're saying, if you have knowledge, if you have something you want to teach, no matter where in the world you are, come to Nas Academy. We will, you know, help you become an educator, and we will help you access, you know, your audience. So that for us is like sign in the next 6 months. Whether we are successful or not will be like, you know, how many we're able to do and what the response is from those students.
Actually, that's a good point. Something I meant to ask earlier, Nuseir, what percentage of your time, because you're a creator as well, what percentage of your time are you giving to being CEO of the Academy to being a creator?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's very hard to balance both. Right now, I spend 75% of my time on just like organizational stuff at the company, product stuff, and 25% of my time or less just like creating content. But these two things go hand in hand because creating content is essentially marketing to whatever we're doing at the Academy. And so it's difficult to say like one is more important than the other because they both 1 + 1 = 4 in this case. I'll tell you what we want to do in the next, not 6 months, because you know Alex has answered that. I'll tell you what we'll do in the next 6 years. 5 years ago, when I started creating content, I'm sure Jasper, you were alive back then, right? Because you look very young. So 5 years ago, there was no that was a dad joke. There was no TikTok, there was no Instagram videos, there was no Facebook Watch, there was no Snapchat Spotlight, there was no Substack. There was nothing. There was just YouTube. And now in 5 years, we've had so many platforms that existed. I think the number of creators in the next 6 years will grow out massively. And we want to build creator tech. We want to help those creators succeed on the internet, either through making more money or through teaching or through analytics or through whatever. This is a bare bones industry. And everything we built in the last 15 years has been built for businesses. And the next 15 years will be built for individuals. And Nas means individuals in Arabic. So we want to be all about empowering the individual on the internet and weakening the institution on the internet. That's our goal.
So final question for you, Nuseir, aside from Nas Academy, same question, what's next for you? What's exciting? What's really exciting in your world aside to the Academy?
I am excited. Sorry, I'm getting a system error. There's nothing I do outside of this. I have no life outside of this. I have no friends. I have no like t-shirts that are different. Nothing. This is the only thing that's exciting. Everything else is redundant and boring.
Okay, what a
Is that a bad answer? I'm
wonderful
sorry.
conversation. No, it's not a bad answer at all. At all. It's because a lot of the time in these conversations when we're I'm talking to you as the CEO. It's very hard not to talk to you as a creator and start asking questions like, what advice? Okay, I'm going to ask you the question. What advice would you give someone starting in their career as a creator? And that's definitely you, Nuseir. If I'm starting my career, what advice are you going to give me?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I would be very jealous if someone starts today, because there has never been a better time to start than today. So, you know how they say the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and today. The best time to be a creator is today and 20 years from now. I would only make vertical videos. I would ditch landscape, bye-bye landscape. I would only focus on 3 avenues. I would do TikTok, I would do Instagram Reels, I would do YouTube Shorts. I wouldn't even do normal YouTube videos. These 3 avenues give you very, very wide distribution. And so you will be very easily discovered if you do short vertical videos on these 3 platforms. I would make my content 1 minute and less, same way as Nas Daily. And I would do it 5 times a week. You don't have to do it 7 days a week, 5 times a week. So 5 pieces of content per week. I would do this for 1 year and I'm guaranteed to succeed. That, in my opinion, if you do this for 1 year with this format. And so once you have enough exposure, once you have 1 million followers, then you start monetizing through education, through Nas Academy, ideally, through t-shirts, through whatever. But you got to focus only on distribution, because right now you are a nobody and you need distribution. That would be my advice.
You know, I've interviewed so many creators, and a lot of them do say, start now. It's never too late to start. That's a very common thing. I've never ever heard anyone say go vertical. So that's an absolute first.
Really?
And thank you for that. We've had a question from Marco Campo, a great question here, and thank you for asking this, because I meant to ask it earlier and I forgot. Are there any success stories, case histories or success stories that have come from students who attended the Nas Academy? Great question. Alex.
Yeah, sure. So we've been lucky that we have had quite a number of successful students who've started with us having very few followers, less than 1,000 followers, less than 500 followers, have taken what they've learned in these classes and have applied it. And we have students who've reached 500,000 followers, 200,000 followers, and they're from countries in Southeast Asia, they're countries in Europe and the Middle East. We have people also in the US on some of our programs as well who've done really well. And I think going back to Nuseir's point about content, whilst I'm not a creator myself, I see a lot of our students and how are the ones, what is the difference between the ones that do well and the ones that maybe don't do as well? The ones that do well create consistently. They create several times a week, every week. And what that does is it speeds up their learning process. And we do this monthly alumni talk, and a lot of these creators actually come and ask Nuseir and other creators questions. And I think one of the best advices that I've heard is that whilst you create consistently, do not just do the same thing again and again in the same way. So if you create 20 videos, 5 videos a week over 4 weeks, and you're not getting traction, look at your videos and make tweaks, experiment. The beauty of consistency and having lots of videos is it gives you a very short time to try different things. And then when you see something that works, you can go a lot deeper on that thing. So I think it is a combination of creating a lot, looking at what works and what doesn't, and then repeating the process that works. Because I think, Nuseir, you had a turning point in your 1,000-day journey. I think it was, you said about day 270 that it took you until you really saw trouble. Maybe you could share.
Yeah. I mean, it took me 270 failures to get one massive success. And that's 271 attempts. So you need to have 271 shots at the goal if you want to score. And so that's how it is. We actually have some success. Look, a student learns from a creator. In enough time, the student becomes as successful as the creator. We've seen it at Nas Academy, 500, 600,000 followers. Then that student becomes a creator themselves. Then they become teachers. Then they get their own students. So it's like a really beautiful flywheel effect of student, creator becomes teacher. And so that's why we think this Nas Academy business is a 15-year business, not a 1-year business, because you'll see the impact of it 15 years from now, as opposed to like tomorrow.
Nice. Nuseir, final question then. What does success look like to you?
That's a very difficult question.
Is it views? Is it comments? Is it what's success? How do you define success?
I mean, I'll give you the personal definition, not the public definition. The personal definition is success means I can be fired, I can quit. You know, I can disappear off planet Earth and this thing will continue. For me, that's success. Enough of a product, enough of a company, enough of a value addition that it doesn't need you to wake up every day to work. That's success. Right now, we're not there yet. And so how do you build that thing that's bigger than you? And that's much hard. That's a 10-year journey as opposed to, you know, a one-day thing.
Fantastic. Well, I can talking to two extremely smart people here, and we could carry on this conversation forever, but we're not allowed to. And we've certainly gone over your 1 minute limit there as well. But I've written a lot of notes here. I'm just going to try and pick out the key learnings from this and do it in less than a minute. So we but you said,
oh, that's awesome.
Everyone's a creator. I thought was interesting. Do it yourself. Alex, you said content matters and learning matters. We talked about changing lives. You talked, wonderful quote, knowledge increases when you give it away. You talked about how you're versioning in different languages, and English is just not the language to stay in, which is interesting. You also talked about enjoying the torture of running a business. I'm going to take that one home with me. Well, that's quite easy because I'm in my home. We talked about community graduating, starting today, going vertical, as we mentioned, TikTok, Insta Reels, Shorts, so staying below a minute, which means I'm going to have to start speaking much faster, but keep changing. And I'm sold on this. So here you go. Here's the final line. We're going to launch at the Nas Academy. We'll launch the Jas Academy. And so yes. we'll be there. So Nuseir in Dubai, Alex in Singapore. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've genuinely learned a lot listening to both of you talking today. So thank you so much for joining us for VidCon Now. I hope that we can see you both at a real VidCon somewhere in the world somewhere soon, and we'll look out for you there, and we can have a cup of tea or a beer or whatever together and talk academies and stuff. But thank you very much. Brilliant stuff. Up next on VidCon Now Asia, we're going to go online shopping, we're going to go live streaming, and then we're going to go to Indonesia, the world's 4th largest country. So stick around. That'll be in a couple of weeks' time. Look out for the dates. But again, once again, Nuseir and Alex, thank you so much for being brilliant to talk to.
Thank you, Jasper. Thank you, everybody. We love VidCon.
Thank you.